가득 가득 바람 가득 바라산 가득 무디 속아 가득 가득 바람 가득 바라산 가득 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 바람 가득 바라산 가득 무디 속아 가득 가득 바람 가득 바라산 가득 무디 속아 Welcome, beloved family. Giving thanks for another opportunity to meet and see each other. To pray together, sing our songs, breathe together, join our hearts. Let's breathe together, inhaling together and exhaling together. We are here to find the mystery in ourselves, to help that mystery to grow. 가득 가득 바람 가득 바라산 가득 무디 속아 가득 가득 바람 가득 바라산 가득 무디 속아 가득 가득 Amen. Thank you.
Bismillah, Halima, we can't hear you yet. Can you unmute, please? I'm so sorry, we're still not able to hear you. I'm not sure what's going on. Petaluma, are you able to hear them? Petaluma's not either. Give me one moment, please, everyone. Thank you.
There we
There we
go.
go. Now we can
Thank
hear
Okay.
you.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Ali.
Okay.
We were thanking Malika for a beautiful note of welcome.
And to welcome you, each of you. I'm reminded that Thich Nhat Hanh gave a beautiful translation of Gate Gate, saying, arriving, arriving. We are always arriving. Yeah. So may we arrive to this moment right now. So let's begin by feeling ourselves in our breath, opening your breath, feeling the rhythm of your heart, the pulse of your body, feeling yourself connected to ground, to earth. And opening your heart so that we feel each other's presence. Connecting with all the people who are on this call from all over the world. That with our breath, with our heart, we can cross oceans, over mountains, through valleys.
Realizing the gift of the presence of each of us.
So let's begin by with the invocation in English. Toward the One, the perfection of love, harmony, and beauty, the only being, united with all the illuminated souls who form the embodiment of the Master, the Spirit of guidance. And let's, Malika, would you share in Spanish, please? Hacia el uno, la perfección del amor, la armonía y la belleza, el ser único, unido a todas las almas iluminadas que forman el cuerpo del Maestro, el Espíritu Guía.
Gracias.
And our friends Wally and Ariane are here from Germany, but also from the Netherlands.
Did they share in Dutch?
Would you share?
Tot de ene, de volmaaktheid van liefde, harmonie en schoonheid. Het enige wezen, verenigd met alle verlichte zielen, die de belichaming vormen van de Meester, de geest van leiding.
Prem, if you could unmute and share in Maori, that would be great.
E mihi ana, ki te kotahitanga purei, ko ia hoki te tino tamata, o te aroha, o te whakarotahi, me te atahua. Kāre hei tangata, ko atu I aia. E whakakotai te ki ngā wairua tūrama katoa, ko rata nei, ti whakatinanatanga, o rata ko whetairangatia, arataki.
Thank you. I see Vitali is here, our friend from Russia who's living in Israel.
Can you share in Russian, Vitaly?
Are you?
Can you unmute and say the invocation, please, in Russian?
Can. Just one moment. К единому, к совершенству любви, гармонии и красоты, к единосущему, единому со всеми просветленными душами, образующими воплощение Мастера, путеводный дух. Аминь.
Amen.
Большое спасибо.
You're welcome. Toda rabba.
Nashin?
Nosheen, are you here? I didn't see her, but I'm not sure she's here.
Okay.
I don't see
Okay.
Nasheen.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Well,
I see that Olga is here, and
share in Ukraine.
I wonder if you would. But maybe not. I think I think that covers our languages here. So let's say the Bismillah together. Oh, sign language. Aliyah. There you go.
Tajali, do you want to say it with me?
Nice.
One moment. Okay, I'm going to speak and you're going to sign. Okay, Mom? Toward the one, the perfection of love, harmony, and beauty. The only being, united with all the illuminated souls who form the embodiment of the Master, the spirit of guidance.
Thank you.
All together.
Bismillah, Rahman, Rahim.
So, friends, it's such a joy to gather. Thank you to this pandemic that has pushed us all to reach out virtually and make so many beautiful connections around the world this way. Here in the Northeast, we've had a very long winter, but we're now just tuning to the sun, and I want to share with you these little sprouts of spinach that are starting to come up. So we're beginning to think spring is really going to come for real.
But, there's something that if you look at this one, the seed is way up here. This is the shell of the seed. It doesn't need its shell anymore. Mm-hmm. It's taken something germinated that made the root, and the little seed is way up. The husk of the seed is way up here. And you could say that is, part of our work is to let what is inside of us germinate. The unique aspect of our own being, and the husk, the covering, to fall away. you know, to soften, and there are a million metaphors we could use, but, you know, we could say that this is our work in life, is to protect and grow this true nature that lives inside each one of us.
So alhamdulillah, we have allies on this path of awakening. We have the allies of practice, and the prayers of the ancient ones. I'd like to quote Inayat Khan, who says, don't recognize that every blessing of your life and path is the result of the prayers of the ancient ones from the Silsila, who are rooting for us to wake up spiritually. And they give us their encouragement and their blessing, and also practices. So let's do a very basic practice, the purification breaths. We're tuning to the elements, and we're tuning to our own awakening and healing, purification through the elements. So the first breath, breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the nose, invoking healing with the phrase Ya Shafi on the in-breath, Ya Kafi on the out-breath. Healing for the earth element of our nature, our bones, our skeletal system, our ground of our being, our stability, steadiness. Next breath, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth, invoking healing for the water element of our nature. Again, Ya Shafi on the in-breath, Ya Kafi on the out-breath. Healing for our blood and the fluids of the body, all the lymph and all the nourishment that sustains life, our tears, the rain, the rivers, the ocean. Invoking the purification of the whole body of water that supports life. Next breath, breathing in through the mouth and out through the nose, the element of fire, the alchemy of transformation, transforming our own being through purification to become beings of light. Next breath, in through the mouth, out through the mouth. The air element, which governs our ideals, the higher reach of our mind, our capacity to be raised up spiritually by our ideals. the wings of our heart. And the last breath of this cycle, the ether breath, the breath of stillness, breathing through nose and mouth and the skin and the pores all over the body, but there's no movement. It's an inward breath. We're invoking healing for the light body, the latifs, our atmosphere, our aura. We can seal our practice with the prayer Nayas. Beloved Lord, Almighty God, through the rays of the sun, through the waves of the air, through the all-pervading life in space, purify and revivify us, and we pray, heal our bodies, heart, and souls. Amen.
So another purification is this beautiful sound, Astaghfirullah. And one way of understanding, really its meaning is in its own sound and what that sound opens inside of us. But, if we were pointing a finger at the moon, we might say that we invoke the purifying presence of the One. We take refuge there. And so the sound is Astaghfirullah. And we're just opening ourselves to this innate presence that's at the heart of our own being, the heart of all life. Astaghfirullah. So we're just sweeping the heart with the sound. Astaghfirullah. Sweep out the chambers of our heart. Filling our heart with light, filling our heart with suppleness, flexibility, and a beautiful melody that comes from our friend Jessica, who lives in Florida. You can play it a little bit. Astaghfirullah, Astaghfirullah.
Astaghfirullah,
Circling your own heart.
Astaghfirullah, 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 Allah, Astaghfirullah, 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 Allah.
Amen, amen, amen. We take refuge in the purifying presence of the one, the only one that is ever living in our heart. So we'd like to, we have a lovely bunch of friends, leaders and teachers we've invited to join us. And we'd like to pass the ball to our friend Dahlia, who is in New York State. Hi, Dahlia.
So just remaining with our breath here. That beautiful awareness of that ever-present presence of the breath of the One. And I'd like to build upon the practice that Abraham started us with today, the elemental breaths. There's a really beautiful correlation here with the mantra Om Namah Shivaya, which we're going to say is Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. I bow to Shiva. Thursday night was Shiva Ratri, which in the Hindu faith is this beautiful celebration of the dance of Shiva, and the dance of Shiva, the cosmic dance. This is the cosmic dance of creation and preservation, destruction, illusion, and liberation. So really covers all the bases, I think. So this, I'm going to do a meditation here. Again, a chakra meditation using this mantra, because each of these syllables corresponds to an element and to the chakras in the body. So as we start in our elemental breath, we start with the root chakra, feeling that element of the earth. And for that, the syllable is na. So just that na, just feeling the element of earth. In your root chakra, that's your first chakra, your base chakra. It's through your feet, through your buttocks, through your bowels. It's the earthiness of us, the solidity of us, the foundation of us. Just take a moment and breathe and feel you, the element of solid. The elemental breaths, really about all the elements. It's how the elements exist as a state. So this state of solid foundation. Na. And then moving up to the second chakra, we use the syllable ma, ma. How appropriate that that's the syllable for water. Ma, water, our fluid nature, our second chakra, the womb, our kidneys, our waters, our emotions. Just breathing here and feeling the fluidity of this syllable of ma. Moving up the chakras to the third and the fourth chakra, the element of fire. It's both your solar plexus and your heart, which in a very lovely way really need to balance each other. Our fiery nature, our self, our ego, our power, balanced with our heart, our compassion, our love, And for this syllable is she, fiery syllable, she. So feeling this fire, the element of fire, which is element transforming solid into fire, into gas. Moving up and breathing into your fourth and your fifth chakras, your throat and your third eye. So this is the syllable va, and it is the element of air. So it is the expansive, the ability, the elements can expand, they expand to fill whatever container they are in. So it's spaciousness, it is thought, it is speech. Again, the throat chakra and the third eye, your mind, your thought. So the syllable va. And then moving up to your crown chakra, chakra at the top of your head, like a funnel opening to the cosmos. This is the syllable ya. It's the element of the ether, the formless, the essence. So now we can sing this as a chakra clearing mantra, starting from the base and going all the way to the crown, and then using the syllable of Om to bring us back down. Namah Shivaya. Om 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 Namah Shivaya. Breathing, dancing, dancing, dancing on that edge, creation, preservation, destruction, illusion, liberation. Creation, preservation, destruction, illusion, liberation. Om, Hari Om. Thank you.
We're going to now travel. Thank you, Dahlia. Om Namah Shivaya. We're going to travel to our friend Maitreya.
Thank you.
Maitreya.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever we are. The earth is always, it's always daytime somewhere and nighttime somewhere. And it's just amazing. I often reflect how there's no such thing as a sunrise or a sunset. It's just the earth slowly turning out of its shadow into illumination and then turning into its own shadow for a period of quiet. Thank you, Dahlia. I really am a big fan myself of that liberation part that you were sharing, that you were inviting us to experience. Of course, we can't have liberation with all the other components. And my children are making very loud sounds in the background, so I got off track. That's one of the components. So the liberation also, as Halima started us off with, astaghfirullah, of this continuous purifying of our minds and our hearts. So much dust settles again and again and again and again, which requires constant cleaning and constant polishing, as we so beautifully experienced from Malika. So I know that was a topic I wanted to share about, is inspired by Hazrat Inayat Khan's writings on spiritual liberty. And Neem Crowley Baba Maharaj said that he wanted to be attached to nothing so that he could be free with God. To be attached to nothing so he could be free with God. And may all of us have this aspiration just grow and grow and grow in ourselves, that we be free with God. So Inayat Khan wrote that a wise person realizes that the fundamental basis of all religions and beliefs is one, haqq, or truth. The truth has always been covered by two garments, a turban on the head and a robe upon the body. The turban is made of mystery, known as mysticism, and the robe is made of morality, which is called religion. Truth has been covered thus by most of the prophets and saints in order to hide it from ignorant eyes, as yet too undeveloped to bear it in its naked form. Those who see the truth uncovered abandon reason and logic. Good and bad, high and low, new and old, differences and distinctions of names and forms fade away. I'll read that part one more time. Those who see the truth uncovered abandon reason and logic, abandon good and bad, high and low, new and old, differences and distinctions of names and forms fade away, and the whole universe is realized as nothing other than Hak. Truth in its realization is one. In its representation, it is many, since its revelations are made under varying conditions of time and space. I'll say that one again too. This is from volume 5 of, since if those of you have your volumes out every class, you're following along. Let's see, where was I? Truth in its realization is one. In its representation, it is many, since its revelations are made under varying conditions of time and space. And it goes on to give a beautiful description using the water element. As water in a fountain flows in one stream, but falls in many drops. So as water in a fountain flows in one stream, but falls in many drops, divided by time and space, so are the revelations of the one stream of truth. Not everyone can comprehend the idea of different truths being derived from one truth. Not everyone can comprehend the idea of different truths being derived from the one truth. Common sense has been so narrowly trained in this world of variety that it naturally fails to realize the breadth and subtlety of a spiritual fact so far beyond the reach of its limited reasoning. The idea, not everyone can comprehend the idea of different truths being derived from the one truth, as water droplets are derived from the one stream, Hak. So pausing, this is a window, this is a door, this is one of the infinite openings to liberation. That truth unveils itself, unfolds in different ways at different times. My truth is spring has been here. I have little mangoes growing outside on but the mango tree that I am privileged to attend. And others of you, there's ice and snow on the ground. What's true? Is spring here or not? Yes is the answer. How liberating. How many other experiences in life can we bring in? Can we apply this to? That one being can be living their truth, while it might not be our own. Is it any less true? What was true for you yesterday might be different tomorrow, or it might be different right now. So what is truth? How do we know what's truth? How do we know what's illusion? As we go up through the chakras, as we pass through the many veils that cover our hearts. What's our guide? How do we know? I often ask that question. I'm filled with stories from everywhere, from every direction. How do I know what is truth? So I'll share one more brief paragraph or so from Inayat Khan from volume 5. We may ask why we should worship God and whether the theoretical knowledge of God's law and nature is not sufficient for the highest realization. The answer is no. Theoretical knowledge of a subject can never take the place of experience. Theoretical knowledge of a subject can never take the place of experience. which is necessary for realization. Written music cannot entertain us unless it is played, nor the description of a perfume delight our senses unless we smell it. No recipes of the most delicious dishes satisfy our hunger, nor can the theory of God give complete joy and peace. We must actually realize God or attain the state of realization which gives eternal happiness through the admiration and worship of nature's beauty and its source. We can't enjoy written music unless it's played. We don't smell perfume or the scents of blossoms unless we smell them. Recipes, they look good on paper, but we don't experience it. They don't satisfy our hunger. Nor can theories of God give complete joy and peace. Bringing it back to Neem Karoli Baba, he said that it is better to see God in everything than to try to figure it out. It's better to see God in everything than try to figure this whole endless, entertaining variety of stories being played out on this planet. And Papa Ram Dass, he says that we can't see God in everything unless we experience God in ourselves through grace, endless mantra, and our mind is ceaselessly on God in activity of ceaseless prayer. So Neem Karoli Baba says, see God in everything. Papa Ram Dass says, we can't see God in everything until we experience God, like Inayat Khan says. And I'll bring in one final beautiful expression of the divine one being I love very much, the Peace Pilgrim. And among her writings was that she, instead of trying to figure things out, she asked God, let me feel the love you have for your children. Let me feel the love you have for your children. Let me see with your eyes. How do you see this person? So for a moment, let's do that. Let's abandon however we see ourselves or see others. Let's ask the beloved, well, how do you see this person? We can start with ourselves. So you can take a moment to visualize yourself, put yourself before you, before your mind's eye. You can see what you're wearing today or what feelings are passing through your veins. Now ask the beloved, how do you see me? How do you see this person before me? You can bring to mind a dear friend. I'm sure you have many glowing compliments for them, admiration, gratitude for the companionship of a dear friend. And you have stories about them. Now ask the beloved, how do you see? How do you see? Let me see through your eyes. Let me see this person through your eyes. What's your experience, beloved? This is a great practice to do when someone cuts you off in traffic. I know it's a great practice because I tried it just the other day. Boy, that was the happiest time I ever got cut off. The beloved, I don't know what happened, but the anger was gone, the annoyance was gone, and I was closer to the beloved. Thank you. Carry on with this practice as much as you as much as it comes to you. Let's taste the divine recipe. Let's taste the food of the beloved. Let's hear the divine music. Let's enter into great presence so that we can experience all of this and drop the ideas and the concepts and whatever is preventing us from being in this unity.
Beautiful, Maitreya. Thank you. Beautiful teachings. Thank you, Hazrat Inayat Khan. Thank you, the ancient stream of wisdom that has no beginning and no end, that surfaces through everything and manifests all the time to remind us to wake up, to be present, to be liberated. We the beauty of realization cannot be found in the menu or in the notes on the page. We have to taste the experience, and for this we have the blessing of our connection to each other, the beauty of song, the beauty of prayer and practice. So with that inspiration, we're going to go to our home in Cambridge, where we are not, but Petaluma and Walia and Aliye and Valerie are, and they will take us forward.
Yes. Hello. So I wanted to sing today one of the lines of the Khatun prayer by Hazrat Inayat Khan. And I think it's a good one for this time because one thing that's happening is it's a new moon, which is a good time to sort of go within, get quiet, redraw intentions. And the other thing that's happening right now, for some people who observe it, is Lent, the season of Lent, for some Christians who observe that season, leading up to Easter, between Ash Wednesday and Easter. And it's about the time when Jesus went into the desert for 40 days, and he fasted, and he prepared himself for what was going to happen. And it was, his own time of sort of eliminating distractions, trying to really reconnect with the divine. And he was tempted 3 times, and I was thinking about those temptations and the voice that he heard, and I was thinking it's really like the voice of doubt, that really sneaky voice of doubt that comes in sometimes, and can make us doubt ourselves, doubt a lot of things, but certainly doubt ourselves. And he had to just, kind of push it away and say, no. And yeah, so it's a good time to recenter and to root ourselves in that center, and to hear again the voice of the one, the voice of love, the voice of compassion, and all that good stuff. So, yeah. So this line of the Khatum is open our hearts that we may hear thy voice, which constantly comes from within. Open our hearts that we may hear thy voice, which constantly comes from within. It's there. Just got to get quiet and listen to it and hear it. So, so what we will do is I will sing it for you and demonstrate some movements. So I know I have this big harp in front of me, but hopefully you can see a little bit of what I'm doing. So I will demonstrate some movements that you can do seated. And we're lucky to have Dahlia also here in our pod who can demonstrate the movements if you want to stand up. And we're also very fortunate to have Valerie here, who's going to play the cello as well. So, so it goes like this. It goes, so we start with our hands over our heart. It goes, open our hearts that we may hear thy voice, which constantly comes from within. So we have our hands over our hearts. As we sing, we open our hearts, we open up our hands. And then when we sing thy voice, we reach up. You can step forward if you're standing, if you want. And then we bring it back to our hearts, and you can step back if you're standing. So, open our hearts that we may hear thy voice, which constantly comes from within. Open our hearts that we may hear thy voice, which constantly comes from within. And then there's a part where we're going to sing Hu Allah. And if you are standing, you can turn to the right and then turn to the left. But if you're sitting, you can just do like I am. I'm just going to reach up with my right arm first. Hu Allah. And then, so if I'm going to lean a little bit. So then we have wings coming from our hearts. But also a little bit like our hearts are listening, like if we were cupping our ears, but from our hearts. And then we're going to lean to the right, and we're going to sing Hu, 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 Hu Allah. So we lean to the right. Hu, 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 Hu Allah. And on the Allah, we put our hands back over our hearts and bow. And then we're going to do the same thing, but to the left side first. Hu, Hu Allah. And then lean. Hu, 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 Hu Allah. Let's do that again. Hu, Hu Allah. Hu, 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 Hu Allah. Hu, Hu Allah. Hu, 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 Hu Allah. That's the body prayer for this. So let's take a breath together. Until we get to that place where we can hear this voice that does constantly come from within. Open our hearts that we may hear thy which constantly comes from within. Open our hearts that we may hear thy voice, which constantly comes from within. Open our hearts that we may hear thy voice, which constantly comes from within. Ooh. Ooh, our love. Ooh, 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 our love. Ooh, our love. Ooh, 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 our love. Ooh, our love. Ooh, 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 our love. Ooh, our love. Ooh, ooh, our love. Open our hearts that we may hear thy voice, which constantly comes from within. Open our hearts that we may hear thy voice, which constantly comes from within. Ooh, ooh, our love. Ooh, 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 our love. Ooh, our love. Ooh, ooh, our love. Open our hearts that we may hear thy voice, which constantly comes from within. Open our hearts that we may hear thy voice, which constantly comes from within. Ooh, our love. Ooh, ooh, our love. Ooh, our love. On the breath. Open our hearts that we may hear thy voice, which constantly comes from within. Open our hearts that we may hear thy voice, which constantly comes from within. Open our hearts that we constantly comes from within. Open our hearts that we may hear thy voice, which constantly comes from within. Ooh, our love. Ooh, 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 our love. Ooh, our love. On the breath again. Ooh, our love. Ooh, 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 our love. 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 Ooh, our You hear it. Yeah. Amen.
Amen. Amen. This is a poem from Thich Nhat Hanh. You are me, and I am you. Isn't it obvious that we inter-be, that we inter-are? Sorry, I'll start again. You are me, and I am you. Isn't it obvious that we inter-are? You cultivate the flower in yourself so that I will be beautiful. I transform the garbage in myself so that you will not have to suffer. I support you. You support me. I am in this world to offer you peace. You are in this world to bring me joy. You are me, and I am you. Isn't it obvious that we inter-are? It's a poem called Interrelationship. And we know that nothing is independent of anything else. We are interconnected. Everything is interconnected. And when, it's why when two or more gather in my name, we have a Sangha, we amplify each other. And the practical part of our practice together is that we amplify each other. We amplify each other's prayers. We listen to each other. We receive each other. And we form that beautiful web. We make conscious that beautiful interconnected web of life.
When you open your heart, it helps me open my heart.
Yeah. We be.
Sufis have a name for this. In a sense, this is really what ishq is. Ishq is this bonding agent, this connective of the heart that holds us, that holds all life. If there were not ishq, the molecules would just spin out in disarray. All form, all connection, all relationship, all family, all of nature is held in the loving embrace of ishq.
Gravity.
It's a kind of gravity, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Holds us together, yeah. I would like to invite everybody to go on gallery view so that we can see each other. And if you have your camera off, if you could bear to turn it on, that would be great. Let yourself show up.
The experience of our connection is the opportunity to experience ishq, to realize our interconnected nature, to realize how we affect each other, our wounds, our sorrows, our joys. We impact each other. The beauties that flow forth through music and poetry and prayer, this impacts us. We are all very connected. So the notion of a Sangha, the idea of a Sangha, is not the same as the practice, the experience of holding each other in the light. And this is what we're going to do as a practice here. We've been doing it all day. For many of us, we've been doing it for years and years and years and years. There's we have a phrase, the zikr phrase, La ilaha illallah. There is no reality other than the one, the unifying reality that excludes nothing and includes everything. And we could say this another way. We could also say, La ilaha illal ishq. There is no reality other than this love, this bonding agent, this resource that holds all life in the palm of her hand.
It's the stuff that makes it interconnected, whatever that could be.
So our friend Tansen took this phrase and made a very beautiful practice out of it with music that many of us know, and we're going to sing it some together. And the important part is to practice it, is to actually put yourself into the reality of what you're feeling when you're connecting. And then we'll use gallery view to recognize we are.
So I want to just name how international, interconnected we are in the Zoom. We're reaching into Colombia and Mexico and New Zealand,
Russia, Ukraine,
and Israel,
Holland, Germany.
Yeah, all over the U.S., Wisconsin, and Arizona, and Massachusetts, and Maine, and New Hampshire, and
New York.
Big. Our planet is such a. It's really not that big, It's
Florida.
It's like a jewel one jewel, but it's ours to really protect. We come from this earth and we go back to it. All our ancestors are on this, at least in this form, are part of this earth, and we will go back to this earth. So let's love it. Let's take care of it. We do that by taking taking care of each other and opening our hearts to each other. So, you want to sing?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Also a beautiful body prayer to this. So in the first part, we're doing that beautiful zikr movement that we know, where we sweep the heart, la ilaha il al ishq. So we mostly know that movement by heart, and we do that for each of those phrases. When we come to the il al ishq part, I invite you to imagine yourself like a butterfly, and you start by holding your own heart. You put your hands on your own heart, feeling your heart, and you go, and then you very slowly open, like a slowly is the word. And then we have this opportunity, we just want to feel everybody here, just people who are here, all the people you love, just invite them into that open-hearted place of connection. And we just hold that place. And then if we were together at this point, we would give each other a very gentle hug. So
we'll do a virtual
we'll
hug,
do a virtual, just kind of
eyes.
feel the connection. And then, every hug needs an unhug. Otherwise, we'd be stuck. So it's so we come back into our own being. Now, this is that Shiva dance of life, that we're connected and we're also separate. The great mystery, this mystery of interconnection, and yet we're unique, we're ourselves. So we have to bring that love. We never get the love. The love doesn't come from outside of ourselves. We have to open that place inside of us that knows it. It's already present. We're just like this beautiful little seed. I don't know if you can see me because I asked you to go on gallery view, but that beautiful little seed that we planted that's going to turn into a spinach plant. It has that organicness. We're growing that place inside of ourselves. Okay, so here we go. And we come back to that, zikr movement where we swing our own heart. Yeah. La ilaha illa ishq. La ilaha line again. Illa ish. Let's send it to everybody here. So not just send, but also receive. Take it in.
Love holds the universe together.
Bring it into your own heart. Bring it home.
Holds us together.
Astaghfirullah. Illa ishq. We surrender to this one, all-pervading being whose essence is love in action, in movement, in presence. Il-al-ishq. Ameen, ameen, ameen. To the three jhanas quickly. We're going to close with a practice that we learned from Murshid Sam around breath and love.
So take a deep breath and feel it as a strong breath. Now take a very refined light breath and feel it as a refined light breath. Now breathe in love and breathe out love. Love into the heart, love out from the heart. Now breathe in joy and breathe out joy. Now breathe in peace and breathe out peace. Amen.
Amen.
May all beings be well. May all beings be happy. Peace. Peace.
Sylvia, would you unmute and do it in Spanish, please?
Por favor.
Gracias.
Que todos los seres estén bien, que todos sean felices.
Gracias. Lena Morozova, if you are there, I think you're there. Could you do it in Russian?
По-русски, пожалуйста.
Да будут счастливы все, да будут все блаженны. Мир, мир, мир.
And Wally and Ariane, could you do it in either Dutch or German,
whatever you choose.
Whatever you.
We always do it in English.
Sorry, it's not in Dutch, not in German.
Oh, not in German either.
Okay, well, you sing it in English.
Okay, one more time in English.
May all beings be well. May all beings be happy. Peace, peace, peace.
Dankeschön.
Dankeschön. I feel like we could say, oh, well, let's do it in New Zealand English, but we'll skip it for now. But thank you so much for joining us from all over, wherever you are. And
in a moment, we'll invite everyone to unmute and say farewell. Before we do that, I just want to mention that we will gather again in April, inshallah, on the 10th of April, in a similar program as this. We don't know the whole program, although we do know that Wali and Ariane will join us for that day. And then also to mention the Jamiat Am, April 30th, May 1 and 2 is coming up, and we would hope that
you are all invited.
Everyone is invited, and we would welcome a very international community to that gathering.
Yeah.
So let's open up and
so you're welcome
take
to
farewell.
Thank you to everybody who shared.
Thank you, Alie, for your masterful hosting as always.
And thank you for Maitreya and Dahlia and
Petaluma
and team. And
yeah.
Thank you. Even if you didn't have the mic, your presence has made a difference here. So thank you, everybody, for joining us.
Yeah.
So, I would like to share before we open the mic to everyone. There's online groups coming for Sangha, so please watch your email boxes for that and reach out if you have any question. That's coming soon. Stay tuned.
Thank you, Ali.
That would simplify my mail list trip a lot. So anyway.
Great.
Yeah. Okay, so you're welcome to unmute, and thank you again so much for joining us and participating in this.
Yeah.
If you'd like
to. Thank you all.
Love you all.
It was lovely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Love you all. Thank you. Beautiful.
Thanks.
Hello, Charles. Hello, Charles.
Hello.
Hello, Charles.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
Hi, Sandra. Hi, Maria.
Hello, Camilla.
Hi, Halima.
Hey,
It's
Maria.
Amira.
Hey, neighbor.
Hi, Abraham.
Hey, Marlene.
Thank you.
Thank you, beloveds.
Thank you.
Yeah, Shakur.
Yeah, Shakur.
See you soon.
Thank you all for being here.
Erica.
Neighbor.